And welcome to the Big Jim Show. I'm your host, Big Jim. With me is my lovely wife, Annette.
Hi guys, how you doing? Hope you had a good New Year.
Yep, I know we did. We stayed at home and pretty much, well, we didn't do nothing, but yeah,
Well, we stayed home and watched movies, got cozy. You know, why not?
it was fun. So, what's on the topic for today? As you know, we have changed our direction to our show. It's still comedy, because we're going to add this into it. This is a kind of a nostalgia kind of a podcast now. So if you grew up in the 80s or the 90s, this show is definitely for you because we're going to be bringing back some pretty interesting memories. And you guys are just going to enjoy the living crap out of this. So sit back and enjoy the show. And our first topic of discussion is the Teddy Ruxpin dolls. You guys remember those?
Yep, I remember him. I thought it was cool, because it was like the first, I think one of the first toys that came out when we were younger, and it would actually interact with you. You put a cassette in it and it would read it to you. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. And I always wanted one. I never got one, but I know a lot of the
Yeah,
kids that did.
I never had one either, but my friend did. And yeah, because they were like really expensive,
Yeah,
like stupid expensive.
they were like today's version of the Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah, but even that was like, I don't know. I can't remember the exact price, but it would be like $300 today. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, and all it did is you put a cassette tape in there, and it played the music, had a speaker in there, and the mouth would move and everything according to the song or story or whatever. So me and my infinite wisdom decided, I'm going to put some master puppets in this bad boy, and I'll tell you what, I think it
It
might have.
shorted out.
No, I don't think it shorted out. I think it became haunted at that point.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm not 100% sure, but it was definitely yeah. Teddy Ruxpin. Oh, that's not going to haunt you ever. No,
He,
never.
he's going to roam around your house like Chucky.
Oof. So next up is the Walkman. You remember the Walkman, the little portable cassette tape?
Yes,
Its little
yes, I remember
headphones
that.
on.
I do, because everybody was walking around with them in school,
Oh my God, yeah, it
out
was.
on the courtyard, playground, whichever one it was that you were, on at the time, and gosh, I do remember it. And then, one of my biggest fears, you probably have some of the same or some ones that are different, but one of my biggest fears was having the batteries die. And then all of a sudden you're listening to this really cool music, and all of a sudden you're going, and it's eating your tape.
Oh my God, that happened to me once.
And then after that, your tape is ruined because you try to wind it back up, which you can, but then you're listening to it
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
yeah. You
horrible.
can wind it back up, but you have to like take your cassette tape. You had to take a little pencil. You had to physically wind it back up while you're trying to like figure this down here to make sure it doesn't get all wrapped up and everything. Oh, it's
And then
a freaking nightmare.
sometimes if it ate it, it broke the tape.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then you try to use like scotch tape or something and it never
Yeah,
was the
you couldn't
same.
do it.
You just
Yeah,
have to go buy a whole new cassette
yeah,
at that
yeah.
point.
That was those were like $15 back then. It was quite expensive to do. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's happened a time or two.
It,
Running out of batteries.
yeah, running out of batteries or eating your tape or breaking the tape. That was like the three main
Yeah,
things.
because today you just like my battery's dead. I'll just go charge it. No, you didn't have that back then.
Oh, and
You
another
had to
one,
buy the batteries.
having your ear thing break off, or you losing one of the little cushions that go on it,
Oh my God, that was so horrible.
and then you stick in it, it's like poking you in the ear, you're trying to listen to it and you're just like, well,
Yeah.
might as well forget it.
Well, see, it was funny because I went from Walkman to the Discman, but then everybody was always taking my CDs.
Yeah.
So I went back to the Walkman. Nobody messed with the tapes.
And it's funny because the Walkman and the Discman, if if your tape messed up, you were pretty much having to buy another tape because it was messed up and it was always skipping. And then with the CDs, when they came out, if your CD got scratched, it was the same exact thing. You'd have to go buy another CD.
I skated. I rollerbladed like everywhere I went when I was younger, and so a Discman wasn't very practical because you're always jumping and all this other stuff, and
And it's wobbling
it was
around in there.
always it was always either skipping or scratching. So I eventually just went back to a Walkman because I could literally take the songs from a CD and put it on my cassette tape and hit record and just forget about it. And yeah, so it was actually more convenient to have a Walkman than it was to have a Discman. It looked cool. Don't get me wrong, it looked cool. Like you were the baddest, you were the richest dude if you had a Discman back then. But man,
Oh, what about that Discman that went in your car? You put the cassette in the cassette
oh
player,
my
and you
gosh,
had it on your dash and had it play through the
oh my
speakers.
gosh, I
Do you
forgot all
remember
about
that?
that. Yeah. You had the Discman, you had the Discman that you plugged into your speaker,
Into the cassette.
and it wouldn't work unless you had the little wired cassette that went with it that also plugged into your Discman. So you had to plug in this fake tape to trick the stereo into thinking that it was a tape. When
Uh-huh.
I don't know how they came up with this idea,
And then
but it was
it,
freaking ingenious.
yeah, yeah. But then the biggest fear with that with is when your cord would break,
Oh yeah,
or the tape
somebody
wouldn't
would sit on
eject or
your
something.
Discman, break your
Yeah.
Discman,
Oh yeah.
and you had to charge it too. Again, same thing. You had to have batteries.
Yeah.
Had to have batteries, which
But
I found out that tape player batteries last a lot longer than CD player batteries.
and you know what else I remember from music wise when you were having cassettes is whenever our parents had these humongous stereo systems. Remember the big old speakers?
Oh my
It
gosh.
took like almost two people to carry those things. They were so heavy.
Yeah.
And then people were putting them in the back of their vehicles so they could bass bump and
God.
stuff. They were like wiring them into their
House
cars.
speakers into the car audio. Yeah, I remember doing
That's
things
where
like that.
those systems came from, those box systems. Everybody just evolved.
Dude, I was in when I was in shop class in ninth grade. We must have made
The speaker boxes.
so many speaker boxes that we had shopped the next year of school. And our teacher was like, "You guys can make anything you want, and you can sell anything you want." And he looks right at me and he goes, "Except for speaker boxes, Mills. No speaker boxes."
You're like, man,
I was
that was my
like
side hustle.
that was what I did. I made speaker boxes. I should have taken that up, but now it's not even really a thing nowadays. I don't think. I
I don't
mean,
know. A lot of people still have their systems in their
I
vehicles.
never, personally, I never got into that.
But I do remember that it was kind of weird, but you know, the things we did back when we were kids, we just thought it was the coolest thing.
About the art of mixtaping,
Yes, the art of mixtaping. Yep.
waiting for the song to play on the radio, and you had to like haul ass from one end of the room. You're like, "Oh my god, my song is on!" Then you had to hit play, hit record.
I remember that, and then you'd miss half the song, and
you
then
yeah yeah, you'd miss half the song.
and hopefully nobody sneezed, coughed, or anything else, and made a sound, laughed, talked,
Oh my
because
gosh,
if they did, then your CD was ruined.
I took some of my.
Cassette, whichever one it was.
I ran out of blank tapes. Remember that word, blank tape?
Yep.
That's an oldie. So I ran out of blank tapes. I took my mom and dad's Amway tapes when they were in Amway, and I put the little piece of invisible tape on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how you did do that?
Yeah.
And take the cassette tape, and you had to put that little piece of tape on top so you could record over the original cassette.
Oh yes.
That
Oh, my
works for
parents used to.
VCRs too.
My parents used to get so mad. They're like, "Where's my new tape?" And I was like, I don't know." And then they find it and they go to play it and they're like, "What is this? It's not what is supposed to be on here."
Oh my gosh, yeah,
I was
man.
like, "Oh,
I
yes,
yeah, I did the art of mixtaping and I did the art of video music, music video recording too. I have if I was home from school sick, I would be
oh
watching
yeah,
MTV.
MTV. Yep,
back when they played music.
when they actually played music. Yep,
You'd be like, "Oh, okay." Then you just hit record real quick, and you'd catch like the music video. I must have had at least 3 or 4 different tapes,
right, right.
of all kinds of different videos and everything, and yeah, it was quite interesting. Um, what about note folding in school?
Yes, I was meticulous about learning how to do the note folding thing.
Pre-texting.
Yep, that was our pretext back in the day. You wanted to send a message, you wrote it down on a note, folded it up. You could either fold it in the little fancy things like we did as the girls, or you could do it as the boys did. They did like little football things and you'd flick it across the room, or you just,
Yeah,
just pass
that
it.
that works if you don't have a Navy SEAL for a teacher,
Yeah,
because he caught that thing in
midair.
midair, and he was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I wasn't involved with it for once. For once, I was not involved with this one. So he's like, "What do
Mm-hmm.
we got here?" And so you guys are playing football in my class? No, nobody's playing football. He says, "Well, what do I got in my hand here then?" He's, "Well, I'm just gonna fold it up," and he'd read it, and you could tell who wrote the note because that person would just sink down,
And he'd look them straight in the
like
face.
straight in the face, and he'd read it in class, and it would be during
In our
prom.
class, our teacher used to make us go to the front of the classroom, and we had to read it.
Well,
And it was some of it was embarrassing. Some of it was.
my teacher read it, and he says he's reading this thing out loud, and he's like, "I'm thinking of asking Michael to the prom." Well, there's a kid in here, and Michael. Okay, there's a kid that's in this class. His name is Michael. Michael, it looks like you're gonna go to prom with Ray Lynn, and boy, that girl just turned about 10 shades of red, sunk back in her desk, and you didn't see her for the rest of the school hour. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
This is too funny. Yeah,
Buried her head in a book or
buried her
something.
head, just buried her head, just you know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was definitely a fear, having it get read in class or going to the front of the class and
or
reading it.
or somebody that you didn't like got a hold of that letter.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if you're passing it and they give it to the wrong person, you're like, no, 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 it's not that person, it's the other person. And then that person was looking at you and they're like smiling. Or it could be the flip side. They're looking at you, they're going, no.
Yeah. Sometimes you just didn't want to read it because it was like, yeah, I don't think so.
And they're like, wrong dude, wrong dude.
I, I want to kick this guy's ass, but I'm afraid. Well, apparently you're going to get your ass kicked after class.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
I
man.
want to ask him out, but I don't know if he'll say yes.
Oh, jeez. Oh, phone cord frustration.
Yes, phone cord frustration. Most times the cord wasn't long enough, and if it was long enough, you were hoping that it would reach into like the other room where you could at least have semi privacy, because otherwise you're having your conversation with somebody you liked or somebody you were dating in front of the whole entire family.
Be stuck in a closet somewhere, all like hiding out in the jackets and everything. You're talking to this friend or girlfriend. In my case, girlfriend. Oh yeah, you're wearing that. Oh, that's cool. All of a sudden, your dad or your mom picks up. Yeah, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, and you're just like,
Nothing.
nothing, nothing.
Nothing. Tra la la.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. Nothing, tra la la.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that. I remember talking to a friend of mine on the phone or whatever, and all of a sudden you just get like that feeling somebody's watching you, but they're not because they're listening to you, and you can hear them go,
Yeah,
and you're
because
like,
they were
"Hey,
on.
get off the phone! I'm on the phone!" And then you hear in the background, "I'm not on the phone."
And you're like,
Like, dude, you totally are. You're on the phone.
it's like we can hear you breathing, and I'm pretty sure you just sneezed. Oh my gosh, yes. And oh, and then there was the art of 1-800 collect.
1-800-COLLECT.
And you would,
Free for them, or free for you, not for them.
yeah, you get on there and you say, operator, I need to send a collect call to this number. And then whenever your parents would pick up, you're like, Mom, I missed the bus, come pick me up.
Yeah, or something like that.
You have a call from Mom, I missed the bus, come pick me up.
That was like how we texted over landlines. Is you just called 1-800 collect, and you would just say, "Please state the person who's making this collect call," and you would be like, "Mom, I'm at the pool. Come pick me up."
I
And then
remember that.
she would pick up. You have a collect call from Mom. I need to get picked up from the pool. Would you accept these charges? And she'd be like, "No," Because they charge you like $2 a minute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was free for you.
I do remember that. But one time, whenever I was doing that, when I was in junior high, I had one of the operators be like, "Yeah, that's not a real collect call, and that's not a real number. So you need try next time."
Oh, you couldn't get anything past the secretaries there at the high school or at the school office. There's no way.
They're like,
They've heard it
"Nice
all. They've
try."
seen it all.
Yeah, they're like, "Nice try, nice try. You're walking home."
They have heard it all. They've seen it all.
And it's like, "Why did you miss the bus?" I was I was studying. Yeah, I was studying.
Right.
Not when you were in reality, you were like visiting with your friends and you're just playing around and you missed the bus.
Yeah, that's pretty much what would happen with me on my end. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the teacher, one case, the teacher asked me to stay behind, in school because I had to finish an assignment, and that was a legit reason. And that was the day that I actually got caught by the operator. She's like, nice try, you're walking home." And I was like, "Oh man."
Dude, the operator caught you, like the
Yes.
collect call
Yes.
operator. What?
Yes. And I was like, "Oh crap, how am I going to reach my mom now?" So I'm like, "Do I have any
God damn
friends?
it!
Do I have any friends nearby so that I can go use their
You have to
phone?"
walk to their house to go use their phone.
And they live like a mile or two away, and you're
Oh
like,
yeah, oh yeah.
"Well, I got to walk a mile or two anyway. I might as well just walk home."
Ugh, man, yeah, man. Those were the days. About going to the movie house.
Yes.
Be kind. Rewind.
Yes.
Nothing in this world frustrates you more than waiting for that movie to come out in the movie theater or in the movie house because you missed it in the theater, and you get it, and it hasn't been rewound.
Yeah,
And you're like, ah, damn it.
and if you had one of those machines to rewind it for you as you're putting in the next movie,
Oh yeah,
I think that
yeah,
people were rich back
yeah.
then
I
because
mean,
they're the only ones that could afford it.
yeah. The rich people had a VCR rewinder. I'm like, what?
Most of the time you just had to rewind it on
Yeah,
the
we just push stop and then rewound it.
But you know what also would really suck when you're waiting for that movie to come out? You get it and you go to push play and it skips or it has the white static on it.
Oh yeah, when somebody would like mess it up.
Yeah, and the part of the sound was missing
Oh yeah,
I remember that. It was horrible.
dude, oh man, I that happened one time. I was waiting for this movie to come out. I don't even remember what the movie was, but I remember waiting for it to come out, and I was so excited. Get it home. It's been rewound. I'm like, cool, man. I push it in, push play, does its little music and dance. It would push play, whatever.
Mhm.
And it was like such a low quality, like it had been messed with. Like somebody had it on a magnet
Yeah,
and
either
ran
that
it
or
through a
like
magnet.
touched it with their fingers
Oh
or
my
their
gosh, it was
their
so.
VCR had eaten it and
I was
they had to
so
rewind. Oh
mad.
yeah.
I was so mad. We had the movie house hop because some movie houses wouldn't have this movie, or wouldn't have that movie, or wouldn't have this movie. So you had to. No, it wasn't uncommon for us to go to rent a flick because we didn't have Blockbuster back then. We lived in a small town. We had a lot of mom and pop movie places though. We had like Movies to Go. We had
Movie gallery.
yeah, that was kind of phasing out.
Movies to go.
We had Movies to Go. We had two Movies to Go, and then we had the Rent a Flick.
And movie gallery
Um,
is where the eye place is right now. The eye
yeah.
doctor.
Well, that's yeah. That was kind of being out in later time.
Yeah.
But like growing up, that's what we had. We had Rent a Flick, and then when Fry's back then it was Smith's. Had
Yeah,
their
I do
movie
remember
house.
that. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. You had to movie hop because Smith's would have it, but Movies to Go wouldn't, and Movies to Go would have it, but Smith's would, and you would have to like. It wasn't uncommon to like rent movies for the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
like 3 different movie houses. It was not uncommon. Like I said, we didn't have Blockbuster.
And chances were that movie that you've just been waiting to see was the only one left that they had.
Or
and,
you
and
or
it
you
was
couldn't get it.
and it was messed up.
Yeah. Or it was, oh, we're all rented out. Oh man, really? Yeah. Yeah, that was.
So you're hopping around looking for the
Yeah,
movie.
so that's what would happen. It'd be like, okay, they don't have it here. Let's go over here to Movies to Go. Okay, they don't have it at this Movies to Go. Yeah, it was just a very common thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like bar hopping, but you're movie house hopping.
Oh
You're gonna
gosh.
want to go bar hopping afterwards because after all that crap, you're gonna need a stiff drink.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember those days. Going out renting a pizza. Yeah,
Yeah. Depends on where you got it if you're renting it or not.
renting a movie, buying a pizza, snacks, sodas, just setting it all out on the coffee table and sit in front of the
Oh my
TV.
god, that was like yeah.
That was the best. But if you couldn't find the movie and you'd already bought all that stuff, you're just like, man, now I gotta wait for next weekend,
Yeah.
and that would suck.
Yep.
You're
Now
like,
we have Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, Tubi.
Tubi,
Ugh,
pinch poke, yell me a coke.
right?
But
But yeah. Let's see. What else we got on here? We have here we go. The infamous D.A.R.E program.
oh yes, I remember the D.A.R.E
Nothing
program.
says let's get kids curious of drugs than with the D.A.R.E program. They wonder why
It
most of
was
my
a,
generation was on drugs.
it was supposed to be the opposite though.
Yeah. Anytime the government throws money at something, it's usually going to go the opposite. That's just how it is.
What was it? Drug
Drug
awareness.
awareness. No,
Uh,
drug abuse, resistance, education.
yeah,
It
something
should
like
have
that.
been like drug curiosity, reform, please.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, and you had this cop, and he had all the good intentions to like not see us kids end up on drugs, but there really was no other way around how to do this. The government implemented this program, and then it started going into the whole gang thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so now you have all these gangs that are coming out now, and it was just one thing after another, and the way the cop is teaching it is like, hey, if you take this, you're gonna feel this, and you're gonna feel that, and then we're like, hey, that kind of sounds like something we'd see in Labyrinth, man. Hey, we like Labyrinth, right?
Yeah, that was a
That's
good movie.
pretty much how it works. It's like, yeah, you take this, you're gonna be seeing things that aren't there. You're gonna be seeing like dancing fairies, and I'm like, hey, we watch movies that's got that on there. Those are good. We like those, right? 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 Okay, well let's do some drugs.
No, don't do drugs. Don't do it.
Yeah, strongly do not do that.
But there's another program that I remember was the Book It program,
Oh yeah, the Book It program. Now that was a good program.
where you read so many books and you get a free personal pizza.
Hell yeah. That's
So
what.
I'll
Yeah.
be like reading all the time.
Oh yeah, I read all the time just to get
Get the
that
pizza.
free little personal pan
Personal
pizza.
pan pizzas,
Yeah.
little tiny
Oh my
round
god. Yeah,
things.
but it was personal. It was yours. And if you read so many books, you had to write it down. Everything. And it's the other thing too. Pizza was like a huge thing in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you looked at it was pizza. Little League Baseball, Pizza Hut sponsored it. Ninja Turtles, you had pizza. Everything was all about pizza.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder I like pizza so much because it was like all up in my face.
And then they put hot wings with it, which I love. I love the hot wings.
I am just a huge everything was sponsored by Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is proud sponsor of Little League Baseball. And I'm like, hey, I play Little League Baseball. Hey, we're gonna go get pizza afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything was evolved around pizza.
Even if you didn't win, your team didn't win, you still went and got pizza.
Oh yeah, those are the good old days.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Speaking of old baseball teams, a friend of mine we bought the couch from. I found
They found your Little League.
found her and my team, Little League, not
Mhm.
Little League T-ball.
T-ball?
Yeah.
You guys' old picture?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you the date, but it was. You could tell it was me.
Were you making that face?
I had that goofy Coke bottle glasses face. I think I was born with these things on. I don't even know, but yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's funny. But
Well, anyways, that's all the time we got for today. Hey, we got some new merchandise. Check it out on our website at www.thebigjimshow.com. And I'm actually doing stand-up comedy now. Who'd have thought that, right? So we do stand-up comedy, and we actually are going to film it live on Facebook. every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Arizona time. I don't know what that's like. What 8 o'clock New York time, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I can't ever.
I'm not sure. They keep changing the times.
It's yeah. It's I don't know the whole time zone thing. Still, I think
But it's 6 o'clock p.m. Arizona time, which is Mountain Standard.
yeah, we're Mountain Standard now. Well, technically, we're always Mountain Standard
Yeah, because
because
we
we
don't.
don't do daylight
Yeah,
savings time. Now, why we don't do like daylight savings time? Here's why. Uh, Medicine Man, no lie, this 100% true story. Medicine Man told me. He says, "You know why we don't do medicine? Why we don't do daylight savings time? No, why? There's only an idiot would take an inch off their blanket, add it to the top of the blanket, and call it a longer blanket."
makes
That
sense.
makes sense. I mean, yeah, it makes perfect sense. But anyways, yeah. So 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which is 8 o'clock, I believe, on Eastern Standard Time. We are going live on Facebook with open mic at the Silver Tap .928 here in Globe, Arizona. So if you are not a friend or a fan of our Facebook page, The Big Jim Show, I suggest you doing so and sign up for our email list. You can all find all the information you can find out at www.thebigjimshow.com. And we will see you guys. I think Thursday is when we're going to put out another episode.
Yeah, I think Thursday.
Yeah, something like that. Thursday, maybe Friday. Maybe we'll record it Thursday. We'll send it out Friday.
Well, something like
Oh,
that.
that's what we can do. Yeah. Okay, well, it's been fun, and it has been real fun and real, and we will see you guys in a couple of days. Hopefully, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
Bye, guys.